I have never seen anyone like you. That's the actual phrase that came through. And it wasn't said casually. It wasn't the kind of thing someone drops in passing like, oh, you are interesting or you are different. No, this landed differently. This landed like someone had been walking through their whole life, assuming they understood how people worked, assuming they had a pretty solid read on human beings, and then you showed up. You showed up and basically broke their entire operating system. Let me back up for a second. Someone went looking for answers, not about themselves, not about their career or their money or their health. They went looking for answers about you. Think about that. Just think about that. They could have done literally anything else with that time and that money and that energy. They could have called a friend. They could have gone for a walk. They could have written in the journal, their journal, or meditated, or just sat with the feeling and waited for it to pass. But they didn't do any of that. Instead, they sat down with someone whose whole life, whose whole job is to look at people's energy and tell them what's actually happening underneath the surface. And they said, I need to understand this person because I cannot figure them out on my own. I was in the middle of something completely ordinary when this hit me. Folding laundry, actually, just a regular day doing regular things, and I had to stop, put the whole thing down because the energy that came through was so specific and so insistent that I couldn't just keep going like nothing was happening. There was something here. There was something here that needed to be said, and it needed to be said to you. Now I want you to really sit with that, with what it means that someone went to those lengths. They had options. They could have sent a text, could have picked up the phone, could have just show up at your door and said, hey, I've been thinking about you and I need to talk. We need to talk. That was valuable to them the entire time. And instead, they went to someone who reads energy for a living. That is not what you do for someone you are casually interested in. That is not what you do when you are just a little curious and want to see where things go. You go to those lengths when the feeling has gotten too big to manage on your own, when it's taken up residence in your chest and you cannot evict it, when you are trying to talking yourself out of it and that didn't work, but you tried talking yourself into it and that somehow made it worse. When you have tried every rational approach, and none of them have given you a single moment of relief. So you go to someone else, someone who can see what you cannot see. And what that someone told them, what came through, was essentially this: you are not who you appear to be on the surface. I know that sounds like a line. I know you've probably heard something like that before or read it somewhere and rolled your eyes at it. But I'm not talking about some kind of hidden depth and that is just there for the sake of being mysterious. I'm not talking about being dramatic or hard to read. I'm talking about something real, something specific, and the person who went looking for answers was told that you carry something in you that is older than you seem, that there is a wisdom sitting in you that came from somewhere hard and earned, that you have been through things that should have closed you off and made you smaller and harder to reach, and instead something else happened. And when they heard that, something clicked. They felt it. They'd been feeling it for a while, actually, but they didn't have language for it. They'd been walking around with this sense that there was something underneath that they could see, something underneath what you showed them. And they couldn't quite put their finger on that, on what it was. But then suddenly it had a name. It had a shape. It had a reality that they could finally hold onto. So here's what I keep coming back to. They sat there and they heard about you, and they didn't get scared. They didn't pull back. They didn't go, oh my God, that's too much. I should probably protect myself. They got more interested, like something in them had been waiting to hear that, had been hoping that what they felt wasn't just projection or wishful thinking. And now they had confirmation. Now they knew that the thing they'd been sensing was real, and that made it not less overwhelming, but more. It made it harder to walk away from. It made it harder to pretend they were not feeling what they were feeling. And here is another thing that came through. This person is not typically like this. This is important. They are someone who has their life together. They function, they show up. They are not usually someone who gets completely derailed by another person. But here they are, running internal simulations about you, having imaginary conversations, replaying a specific moment, specific look, a specific thing you said that they cannot seem to shake loose from their mind. They keep going back to it, the way you go back to a song that got stuck in your head, except it's not annoying. It's actually the most interesting thing their brain has been doing in a while. And at a certain point, they looked at themselves doing this, and the way they went, okay, something is different here. Something is off. I need help. I cannot get out of my own head about this person. So they went to the reader, and the reader told them a bunch of things that I want to walk through with you because I think that matter. They matter. I think they matter because they give you a glimpse into what's actually happening on the other side, or whatever silence or distance you've been feeling. First, they told this person that you have a way of making people feel seen. Not through effort, not through performance, not through trying to be charming or warm or whatever else people do to get others to like them. It's just something you do naturally. You look at someone and you actually see them. And that is so rare that people walk away from conversations with you feeling like They just told you everything, even when you barely said anything back. That is a specific kind of presence. And it's not something you can fake. You either have it or not, or you don't. And you have it. Second, they told this person about your eyes. Specifically, something about your eyes gives you away. Even when the rest of you is composed, even when you have your face completely under control, something sits in your eyes that people catch and they cannot look away from. And this person caught it. That was the moment. That was the moment. Whatever the first interaction you had, there was a moment where your eyes met and something passed between you, and you felt it in their whole body. They felt in their whole body. And here is the thing about the moment, that moment. It wasn't just connection, it wasn't just attraction. It was recognition. Like they looked at you and something in them went, I know you. Oh, I know you. Not in the way where you've met before in this lifetime. In the way where something much older said, there you are. And that feeling scared them. It came out of nowhere. It had no logical basis, sense. And this is someone who generally prefers to understand things, to categorize them, to put them in a box where you make sense. They make sense. And they couldn't understand this. They couldn't locate it in any rational category they had. So they did what you do when something is too big for logic. They went looking for a different kind of answer. I need you to understand the power you are radiating, you are walking around with on a regular Tuesday. Just existing, completely unaware that someone is booking appointments, trying to understand what happened when you looked at them. There is something else. There is something else the reader told them. They told them about what you have been through. Not every detail, but the shape of it. That you have been in hard things. That love has cost you something real. That there were situations that should have broken you down into someone closed and guarded and smaller, and you couldn't let that happen. You took the hard things and you turned it into something. And there is a freedom in you now that only comes from having survived something real and choosing not to be defined by it. There is a lightness that people carry when they have been through the fire and come out the other side and realized, okay, I'm still here and I'm actually okay, and nothing that comes at me from here is going to be as hard as what I already walked through. And that quality is visible. It radiates. And this person has felt it without knowing the story behind it. The reader essentially told them you are someone who takes the hard thing and makes something beautiful out of it. And when they heard that, they started spiraling, not in a bad way, in a way where they realized, oh no, I'm significantly more invested in this person than I already was. Because now they don't just feel the magnetism, they understand the origin of it. And understanding it somehow makes it stronger, not weaker. For some of you, this person has watched your growth from a distance. They have seen you change over the last year or so. See, something shift in the way you carry yourself, the energy you walk in with, the way you've stopped shrinking in rooms where you used to make yourself small. And they have been watching this with a combination of admiration and personal urgency. Like watching you rise is also making them look at their own life and go, okay, I need to be doing more because this person is not standing still and I cannot keep standing still either. For others of you, they don't know your history at all. They just feel the result of it. The freedom, their groundedness, the thing you have that they cannot fully name but want to be near. And this is where I want to talk about the obsession for a second, because it's real and it's significant and I don't want to gloss over it. This is someone who is thinking about you in a spaces between everything else. In the middle of their workday, late night, when they are supposed to be winding down, they are in a conversation with someone else, and a part of their brain is still on you, running a loop, coming back to something you said or the way you looked at them, or a specific moment. Yeah, specific. They have replayed so many times, they've worn it smooth. They know they are doing this. They are aware of that. This is not their normal operating mode. They look at themselves in the mirror and they are a little embarrassed by it. Like they catch themselves thinking about you for the fourth time in an hour and go, okay, again, we are doing this again. And then they keep thinking about you. There is also a physical thing here. And I'm just going to say it directly because I think it matters and I don't want to dance around it. This is not purely an emotional or intellectual attraction. They are attracted to you genuinely and significantly. And that's layers on top of everything else we have been already talked about. The recognition, the depth, the history, all of it. And the combination is a lot for them to carry around in a regular day. They are not telling people about this. Or if they are not telling them the full version because the full version sounds too much. The full version sounds like I went to see a reader because I cannot stop thinking about someone I haven't even fully pursued yet. That's not a sentence most people want to say out loud to their friends. So they are carrying this weight, they are carrying it, and it's heavy, and it's also warm, and they are not totally sure they want it to go away. Because underneath all of it, what they actually want is to come to you with something real, not a text, not a carefully managed semi-confession that leaves them an exit if it doesn't land. They want to actually stand in your presence and say a true thing and see what happens. They have imagined it, multiple versions, different settings, different words, different versions of your face when they say it. They keep running the scene up to the part where they are actually looking at you. And then they stop. They stop because that part is too real to simulate. Because in that moment, it's either going to land or it isn't. And the not knowing is the thing they cannot hold. That's why they went to someone else instead. Someone who could tell them, someone who could say, yes, this is real. This is significant. No, you are not being dramatic. And that's exactly what they heard. That's exactly what they heard. Now let's the reading did not calm them down. Whatever they were hoping for, some distance, some realization, some, oh, you're just projecting, this isn't that deep. They didn't get that. They got the opposite. The person they went to said, yes, this is real. Yes, it's significant. And now they are more invested than before they walked in. They went in carrying a feeling they couldn't manage. And they came out carrying a confirmed feeling they really cannot manage. This is a very specific kind of spiral. I want you to notice something. Every time they imagined the scene where they actually say the thing, you were there. They kept casting you in it. They kept running the version where they say the real thing and you actually receive it. That means on some level they believe that's possible. They haven't talked themselves out of you. They've just talked themselves out of the timing. But the timing is almost done. What I'm picking up is that this person is about to move from internal to external. The processing phase, the going to the reader, the loops, the imaginary conversations, all of that is closing. Something is shifting in them right now. There is a decision that has been made or is being made. A line there is crossing from thinking about it to doing something about it. What I'm getting is that they are looking for a sign. Not necessarily a dramatic sign, just something that tells them the moment is right. It could be something small, a song, a coincidence, something you post, something someone says. They are watching from a signal for the signal that says, now, move now. For some of you, they are about to reach out very soon. There is an urgency that wasn't there before. And I think it's because the reader told them something that landed with weight. That you have people, that you are someone who is noticed and wanted. And you are not sitting around waiting for anyone to catch up. That if they want this, specifically this, they cannot keep sitting in the comfort of almost. And the word almost is very accurate for where this has been. Almost reaching out, almost saying it, almost. Like they have been living in a space right before the action for longer than either of you realize. And the message they got essentially said, stop living in almost. The window is real. And you are not the only one standing at it. And they heard that. And something shifted, not panic, purpose. Like they went in looking for permission and came out with a timeline instead. So here's what I want to say to you directly. Not about them, about you. Because the person who looked at your energy saw things about you as a person. And I need you to actually hear them instead of sliding past them. You are someone who loves with your whole chest. This is not a small thing, and I don't want you to treat it like it is. The world is full of people who love at the surface, who perform connection without being present in it, who go through the motions, who give you 60% and call it everything. You are not that. You are not. When you are in something, you are in it. You pay attention, you remember the things people mention once and think you've forgotten. You follow through. You show up in the specific way, not the general way, the specific way. You remember how someone takes their coffee. You remember the thing they said was hard. You come back to it later, unprompted, because it stayed with you. That quality is visible in your energy. People feel the potential of it even before you have directed it at them. And for someone who has been living on surface level love, encountering you and feeling what you are capable of is like, God, this is what it's supposed to feel like. You're also someone who holds your feelings close. Not because you don't have them, you have them in abundance, but because you have learned that not everyone deserves access to them. You have been open with the wrong people. You've given the real version of yourself to people who treated it casually. And it cost you something. So now you watch first. You let people in slowly and selectively. And you've gotten very good at knowing the difference between someone who wants you and someone you wants what you give. Yeah, the person on your mind wants you. I want to be clear about that. They didn't go to a reader about the idea of you or about what you could do for them. They went about you as a person. They wanted to understand you. That's a different kind of want. I also want to say something that the energy is showing me very clearly. Something has shifted for you recently. Something is aligned in a way it hasn't been. Whether you have been taking care of yourself differently, or you made a decision that released you from something, or you finally let go of something you were holding way past its time. Whatever it is, you look like someone who has been freed from something. And that kind of freedom is one of the most attractive things a person can carry. This person looks at you and they see light, freedom. Light, not the performed kind, the kind of that comes from someone who has actually done the work of becoming themselves. They came in confused and overwhelmed. They got a whole experience. And here's the thing I want to be really direct about. You don't do anything to make this happen. You didn't pursue them. You didn't perform for them. You were just yourself, fully, unguardedly yourself. And that was enough. That was more than enough. That was the thing that sent them sideways to a stranger because they couldn't handle how much your existence affected them. Remember that. The next time you feel like you need to be more or different or carefully managed, Remember that the most powerful thing you did was just be exactly who you are. And this person is right on the edge of something, of doing something. I can feel them right at the threshold. One foot already over the line. The reading pushed them close. Their own accumulating feelings have been pushing them, and something is about to push them over. The processing phase ends soon. Something moves. Something breaks the standstill that has been sitting between you and this person. And when it does, and I want to say this clearly, let it land. Don't minimize it. Don't explain it away. Don't make yourself smaller so the thing is easier to hold. You are someone who has done a lot of managing of your own reactions to protect other people's comfort. You are allowed to just receive this fully without immediately figuring out what it means or what the right response is. Just let someone finally bring you something real. You are worth the length of this person is going to. I need you to actually let it sink in, because I know you are already looking for the reason it's not that serious. You do that. You find the exit from being wanted, because being wanted fully is scarier than almost being wanted. Almost never fully commits. Fully can break your heart. But here's the thing, the risk of this, the real risk, is not that they are too much or that you will trust them and get hurt or that what they are feeling will fade. The risk is that you stay so carefully managed and so quietly protected that this passes by you. You have been someone who loved first, who stayed longest, who gave their realist version of yourself to situations that didn't give you the realist version back. You know what that costs. You know exactly how much of yourself you left in situations that were not worth it. This is different. This person went through all of that, the overthinking, the reading, the confirmation, the spiral, not to hand you something convenient. They went through all of that to make sure that what they were bringing you was real, worthy of you, true. This is not nothing. That's someone taking you seriously before you even asked them to. You are the person the reading was about. You are the one who left that mark. You are the one they couldn't explain, couldn't shake, couldn't reason their way out of. You walked through something hard and came out the other side lighter and freer and more completely yourself than before. And that's not small, that's the whole thing. And now you just have to be willing to receive it when it comes. And it's coming. It's coming very soon.